Success isn't always about following the rules. Sometimes it's about breaking them quietly or rewriting them completely. In 1981, Michael Bloomberg was 39 and jobless. He'd just been let go from Salomon Brothers after 15 years. No executive role, no golden handshake, just a severance check and a reputation for being smart and a little stubborn. Most would have taken the money and faded into comfort. Bloomberg didn't. With no product, no customers, and no tech background, he launched a company built on a hunch that Wall Street was flying blind in real time. Organized financial data would change everything. He wasn't interested in doing things the normal way. He didn't just think outside the box, he threw the box out. Fast forward, Bloomberg LP became a multi-billion-dollar empire. The terminal changed finance. He became a 3-term mayor of New York City, and his philanthropic footprint now spans the globe. So, how did a man with no roadmap outplay the most powerful people in finance, politics, and media? In this video, we're breaking down Michael Bloomberg's 5 rules for massive success, not recycled advice, but the bold, strategic moves that made him one of the most quietly disruptive figures in modern history. If you're tired of surface-level tips and ready to think bigger, build smarter, and lead harder, stay with me. Because once you understand how Bloomberg cracked the code, you'll never look at success the same way again. Let's get into it. Before the billions, before the suits and speeches, before he had his name on skyscrapers and news terminals, Michael Bloomberg was just a regular kid from Medford, Massachusetts. His dad was a bookkeeper at a local dairy, his mom a secretary. They weren't wealthy, but they believed in discipline, education, and getting things done without complaining. That no-excuses attitude, Bloomberg soaked it in like oxygen. He wasn't the smartest guy in every room, but he was usually the most prepared. That drive took him to Johns Hopkins University, where he studied electrical engineering, and later to Harvard Business School. While other students were dreaming of Wall Street glory, Bloomberg was quietly building the problem-solving mindset that would define his life. See what's broken, fix it, then make it better than anyone thought possible. His break came in 1966 when he joined Salomon Brothers, one of Wall Street's most aggressive investment banks. It was loud, fast, cutthroat, the kind of place that either chewed you up or made you rich. Bloomberg didn't just survive, he thrived. While others were focused on trading floors and flashy deals, he was looking at the wires behind the walls. He climbed the ranks, eventually heading up information systems, a role most people overlooked, but one he knew was the future. Here's where it gets interesting. Bloomberg helped build one of the earliest computerized trading systems at Salomon. At a time when most brokers were still relying on phones and paper, he was talking about data integration and real-time analytics. He wasn't just ahead of the curve. He was the curve. In 1981, after 15 years of loyal service, Salomon was sold and Bloomberg was let go. Just like that. But they handed him a severance check for $10 million. Money most would have used to retire or chill. Not Mike. He saw something Wall Street desperately needed: accurate, real-time financial data, all in one place. Not scattered across telexes and faxes, not hours late, but instant, searchable, and actionable. That idea, it was the seed that would grow into the Bloomberg terminal and change the financial world forever. Wall Street in the early 80s had a major blind spot. Information, the lifeblood of finance, was slow, scattered, and wildly inefficient. Traders relied on printed reports, late data feeds, and phones that never stopped ringing. Imagine trying to make million-dollar decisions with information that was hours old or worse, incomplete. In that world, speed was power, and no one had it. Michael Bloomberg saw the flaw, and more importantly, he saw the fix. Armed with that $10 million severance check, he didn't take a break or buy a yacht. He got to work. He launched a company called Innovative Market Systems, which, of course, would later become Bloomberg LP. His mission? Simple on paper, revolutionary in practice. Deliver real-time, accurate financial data in a customizable digital format. Most people laughed. A few listened. One believed. That believer? Merrill Lynch. They backed him with a $30 million investment in exchange for a 30% stake. Why? Because they understood Bloomberg's idea. This terminal could give them a massive edge. The first Bloomberg terminal looked like a glorified computer box, clunky by today's standards, but pure magic back then. It lets users pull up live bond prices, run analytics, and build customized data dashboards in seconds. At the time, no one else had that kind of access or control. It was like going from candlelight to electricity overnight. Bloomberg once said, "You can't rely on conventional wisdom, because by the time something becomes conventional, it's too late." That quote perfectly captured the spirit of what he was building. A tool ahead of its time for people willing to think ahead. But make no mistake, it wasn't easy. The early days were brutal. The big players shrugged him off. They didn't want to abandon the old systems. Some even mocked the product, calling it a toy. But Bloomberg and his tiny team, just a few dozen employees, kept grinding. And they went office to office, demo to demo, fighting for every single subscriber. They believed in the mission more than anyone believed in the market. And slowly, it started to catch fire. That toy became the industry standard. Those early doubters, they became customers, and Bloomberg LP. It went from a wild bet to one of the most powerful platforms in global finance used today by over 300,000 professionals in more than 100 countries. Not bad for a guy who got fired. In Bloomberg's world, data isn't just power, it's oxygen. From day one, he understood that the person with the best, fastest, and most relevant information would always have the upper hand. That's why he built the Bloomberg terminal, not just as a data feed, but as a total information ecosystem. It didn't just deliver data, it organized it, analyzed it, and even let users communicate in real time. Most platforms dumped numbers on your screen. Bloomberg showed you what mattered, and it evolved constantly, shaped by the needs of its users. New functions, analytics tools, messaging features. It became the financial world's command center. Today, over 375,000 Bloomberg terminals are in use globally. And those little black boxes, they generate nearly $13 billion a year for Bloomberg LP. As he famously said, "In God we trust, all others must bring data." Here's something few talk about. Bloomberg didn't just build the terminal, he owned the pipeline it flowed through. While others licensed data to third parties or sold ads to stay afloat, Bloomberg owned everything, from the servers to the software, from the content to the delivery. He didn't let middlemen dilute the product. He created a closed loop of value where every piece made the terminal more essential. When competitors asked, "Why not license your data?" Bloomberg said, "No." Instead, he launched Bloomberg News, Bloomberg Radio, TV, and magazines, all with one purpose: to make the terminal indispensable. Here's the kicker. Bloomberg News operates as a loss leader. It's not meant to make money, it's meant to reinforce the ecosystem. And it works. Each headline, each broadcast, each data point loops back to terminal users who pay top dollar for that edge. Michael Bloomberg never saw technology as a department, he saw it as the engine. From the beginning, he poured money into engineering, research, and development, long before it was trendy. While Wall Street firms were just learning what a server was, Bloomberg was already building systems that crunched millions of data points in seconds. Fast forward to today, Bloomberg LP invests over $1 billion annually in tech and employs 6,500 plus engineers worldwide. The company has been early to adopt AI, machine learning, and even natural language processing, all to make data more insightful and accessible. He once said, "The biggest mistake people make is thinking technology is just a tool. It's not, it's the driver." When you walk into Bloomberg HQ, you won't see a maze of corner offices. You'll see an open floor plan, and yes, Bloomberg himself has always worked in the same open space as everyone else. No walls, no barriers, just people, collaborating, arguing, solving. He built a culture where merit trumps politics, where results speak louder than resumes. Feedback flows fast, performance is rewarded, and red tape is kept to a minimum. Titles don't matter, impact does. This flat, fast-paced environment has helped the company maintain high employee retention, especially among engineers and product talent. It's not perfect, but it's focused, and that's what drives results. Bloomberg once put it bluntly, "I hire people who are smarter than me, then I get out of their way." For Bloomberg, success was never just about wealth, it was about impact. After securing his fortune, he turned to something even bigger, making a difference. Through Bloomberg Philanthropies, he's donated more than $14 billion to causes like public health, climate change, education, and the arts. And true to form, he applies the same data-driven rigor to philanthropy as he does to business, measuring outcomes, refining strategies, and aiming for scalable results. And then there's his time as mayor of New York City, 3 terms where he tackled public health, crime, infrastructure, and economic development. Under his leadership, the city saw crime drop to record lows, launched major environmental initiatives, and weathered the 2008 financial crisis better than most global cities. He believes, if you're lucky enough to be successful, you have a responsibility to help others, not later, but now. Michael Bloomberg didn't follow the crowd. He outthought, outbuilt, and outworked the competition. These 5 rules weren't buzzwords. They were the foundation of a global empire. Data, control, innovation, culture, giving back. Simple ideas, executed relentlessly. So, if you're chasing massive success, remember this. It's not about being loud. It's about being clear, consistent, and impossible to ignore. So what really set Michael Bloomberg apart? What made him not just successful, but massively successful in multiple fields? It wasn't luck, it wasn't timing. It was the way he thought differently and acted boldly when others hesitated. While Wall Street obsessed over quarterly numbers and public valuations, Bloomberg played the long game. From day one, he refused to take Bloomberg LP public, even when people begged him to. Why? Because he didn't want to answer to short-term investors. He wanted control, vision, focus. That decision allowed him to invest deeply in innovation, even if it meant delaying profits. And in the end, it paid off with a company that's stable, wildly profitable, and entirely under his terms. Bloomberg didn't just build a product, he built a solution. He was obsessed with what his users needed, constantly improving the terminal based on real-world feedback. In the early days, he personally called clients, showed up at trading desks, and asked, "What's missing? What's clunky? What do you wish this thing could do?" Then he went back to his team and built it. That tight feedback loop made the terminal feel like magic because it understood the user better than anything else. Let's not sugarcoat it. Walking away from a secure, high-paying job at Salomon Brothers to launch a startup was a huge risk. He had no product, no customers, just a severance check and a hunch. But Bloomberg leaned in. He faced rejection, slow adoption, and serious skepticism, But he didn't flinch. His resilience became his superpower. While others panicked, he persisted. Bloomberg didn't just believe in data, he lived by it. Whether it was financial markets, philanthropy, or running the biggest city in America, his decisions were rooted in logic, not gut feeling. As mayor of NYC, he used data to track everything, from school performance to crime patterns to emergency response times. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't political, it was efficient, and it worked. Finally, Bloomberg's leadership style was brutally direct, but deeply respected. He didn't hide behind layers of bureaucracy. He sat with his team. He answered his own emails. He expected excellence and led by example. His personal brand? No nonsense. Results-driven, mission-focused, and that clarity attracted talent, investors, and partners who wanted to be part of something real. He played long when others played short. He listened harder, built smarter, led from the front. He didn't chase trends. He made his own rules. And that's what separates the good from the truly legendary. Michael Bloomberg didn't just leave a mark on Wall Street. He redrew the map entirely. Today, Bloomberg LP is the undisputed leader in financial information, serving over 375,000 users worldwide, from traders in Tokyo to economists in London. Its sleek black terminals sit in the most powerful financial institutions on Earth. The company controls more than a third of the global financial data market and its estimated valuation. A staggering $60 billion, still privately held, still fully under Bloomberg's vision. But his impact goes far beyond finance. Through Bloomberg Philanthropies, he's quietly become one of the world's most influential philanthropists. With over $14 billion donated to date, his focus has been clear and measurable: public health, climate change, education, the arts, and government innovation. From funding anti-smoking campaigns in developing countries to helping cities combat climate change, Bloomberg's giving is as strategic as it is generous. As mayor of New York City for 3 terms, Bloomberg transformed the city's public health policies, reduced crime to historic lows, expanded green space, and led the city through the aftermath of September 11th, the 2008 financial crash, and Hurricane Sandy. He brought a CEO's mindset to governance, using data, pragmatism, and results over rhetoric. Even today, he's an influential voice on global issues, especially when it comes to climate and urban development. But beyond the titles, the numbers, and the headlines, Bloomberg's real legacy is a way of thinking, a way of doing. So, what can we really learn from Michael Bloomberg? He didn't build his empire by copying others or following industry trends. He built it by asking better questions, spotting problems others ignored, and solving them with surgical precision. His philosophy was simple but powerful. Think different, work smart, lead from the front, and most of all, never compromise on excellence. Let's break down what truly set him apart. And maybe most inspiring of all, he used his success to give back. Bloomberg didn't just write checks. He applied the same strategic, data-driven mindset to philanthropy and public service. He believed that success only matters when it creates impact beyond yourself. Michael Bloomberg's story proves something powerful. Massive success doesn't come from following the rules. It comes from rewriting them. So, if you're building something, a startup, a personal brand, a vision bigger than yourself, ask this: are you playing it safe, or are you building like a disruptor? Because the future doesn't belong to those who wait for permission. It belongs to those bold enough to think differently and disciplined enough to make it real.